I do remember in 2017, though, that I was 2017, 2018, I was sitting there crying because I wanted him to buy me a gift or him to show me that he loved me, and he kept saying, "It's not in my nature. You can't change my nature. You can't change me. You can't change my nature. It's not in my nature." And I kept crying because I wanted someone who would buy me flowers or something. And then I went out to New Mexico and I begged him to go out there and spend time with me and my grandma. I had to remind him that my grandma housed him. My grandma and grandpa housed, well, I guess they're not my blood grandparents, but they housed him for 2 whole entire years almost. And he didn't even fucking give them or pay them the respects to go say hi to them. He didn't even go say hi. He didn't say goodbye. He didn't help me when they were sick. He wasn't there like a husband should have been. I begged him all the time to come visit me. I begged him all the time to be out there with me. And all he kept saying is, "I'm not going back. I'm not going back." He hated New Mexico. But the worst part is, it's like, yeah. Then I went to the human services and I needed food stamps because I couldn't feed myself or Coraline. I was starving then too. Like, I was starving. I lost a lot of weight. I couldn't afford the food. I couldn't afford anything. Couldn't afford anything. As if I had his money. I didn't have his money. I wasn't allowed to spend certain amounts of money, and I only put gas in the tank. And it's like, and he never got me a gift. And that part fucking hurt every single day, having to watch him give gifts to his other fucking girlfriend when I begged for 5 years for him to give me a gift. Or the thing that tore me apart even more, he was so excited about tearing me apart, alright? So, like, no. It hurt so badly seeing Cheers to 10 years on my 10-year anniversary all over North Carolina at, like, sushi bars and other places. It said cheers to 10 years, and then there were cheers all over, just to find out that on our 10-year anniversary, he was side by side with someone else, and it wasn't for me. Cheers to 10 years. It wasn't cheers to 10 years for me. It was cheers to 10 years for him or something. For someone else or something. Because I didn't get my 10-year anniversary. He left like a month before. And then on my 10-year anniversary, he literally sent me $40. Side by side with another fucking woman. With Hannah. And then it's like, I'm going to be shown why he loved Hannah so much and how he likes it better with Hannah's. When I was in Colorado, that's what they kept saying is, it shows I liked it better with Hannah's. So apparently New Mexico liked it better with Hannah's or something. So anyway, reverting back to 2019 when I was taking care of my grandparents. I went to the human services. I got on food stamps. And then they put me on the New Mexico Works program and put me on TANF. And then they tried getting me to get a lawyer back then, and I didn't want to. And they said the only way that I could get any type of food stamps or TANF was if I had a separation note. So I had to go and get a separation note notarized. I had to have Corey go and get a separation note notarized because I was putting that I was still married. I gave them my marriage certificate, and they put my name as Valerie Duran, and they didn't put my name as Valerie DOJ. They put my name as Valerie Duran, and they wouldn't let me be Valerie DOJ, saying that my marriage certificate wasn't needed, and a bunch of other stuff. And it's like, they did not fucking want me being Valerie DOJ, and everybody was telling me that God didn't like it when people changed their names. Like Rose, she used to say that all the time. Being at Rose's house is probably the worst thing for me. It's one reason why I've been begging to get the fuck away, is because whatever the fuck was inside of Rose. Rose is like, do you know what it's like having to rename a kid? Do you know what it's like having to be renamed when you're 5 years old? Nobody should change people's names. You don't need to change people's names. I don't even like numerology when it comes to that. It's supposed to be something beautiful, and it turned out ugly. Changing constantly, constant change, number 5. It's all like, that fucking sucked because the changing constantly was them role playing being whoever they wanted to be. They kept saying, Miley Cyrus is here all weekend. And I kept begging to get the spirits out. And then all the radio stations were sitting there telling me who was there and who was there at the time and everything like that. And who I was and who was there. But then I also found out that it was him fucking the other girl in another body while I had to sit there with the spirits. And they were just using me for their adventures to come up with ideas for their adventures. They hadn't had that much fun in a long time. He's all, I haven't had that much fun in a long time. Right? Fucking 2020 autumn sage whatever speedway piece of fucking shit. She could be mad at me later. No, I deserve to be mad. And when people say, I'm going to show you, but don't be mad at me, it's all like I have rights to be mad. I got separated in 2019 only to get food stamps and stuff. Because they told me that I could still get food stamps and I could still get TANF and all that stuff, even being married. Just so long as I had proof that I was separated or something. So I did. And then right after that, about 2 weeks into working for that stupid human services, I ended up going on chat sites, trying to find friends and people to hang out with and people to do things with. And I ended up going on 3 dates with a guy. But the thing is, in 2017, I had the weirdest visions. I went to Saturn. Hip hip hooray, but it wasn't Saturn. It might have been like Uranus or something. But I had an out-of-body experience and went to a planet. And I looked down at my hands. There were no hands. And I said, I am not a physical form. And then I got plucked out by this big green Buddha grid thing. And the Buddha sat there and said, what do you want? In a really deep voice. What do you want? I wanted to take your kid. It's like I got plucked out by that thing. And then when I got plucked out by that thing, a bunch, like this really ugly thing made a wish. And then this other thing was making a wish. They were making wishes and stuff. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? It's like, no, that was not me. I was just sitting there watching, sitting there observing type thing. It sucked. But in 2019, I did go on 3 dates with a guy, 3 or 4 dates with a guy. And in 2018, I went on like a coffee date with someone, and then I went on a different date with someone. Everybody kept telling me, they were like, your husband's not even here for you. Your husband's not even here for you. You need to go out and you need to start dating. You need to find someone. You need to find something. You need to do something to occupy your time. You need to feel good about yourself too. You need to feel good about yourself too. Corey doesn't, like, they kept telling me that Corey didn't, like, deserve to be a dad, for one. And 2, I stuck up for him like a dumbass. And 3, everybody just kept saying, you need to feel good about yourself. Even if a date was what it was. I went on a date with Vyabhov, Gupta, coffee date with some guy in a Ford that was like redhead. And then I went on 3 or 4 dates with Keith. I don't know if you would call them dates, but they were dates, kind of. I wanted to hang out with people, so I found people to try to hang out with. But when I went on those dates with Keith, like didn't go on dates. I had a mushroom dealer named Eden, and that was my mom's boyfriend, apparently. I don't know his last name, but that was my mom's boyfriend, apparently. My mom got pissed at me. She was throwing shit at me in the kitchen, all over the kitchen, saying, I loved him, I loved him, I loved him, you bitch, you bitch, you bitch, I loved him. Throwing shit at me all over the place. I didn't realize that my mom loved him. Well, good for her, because that wasn't the person that I was with. That's like, but I went on 3 or 4 dates with Keith. And in all honesty, he bought me an Arizona tea without me even having to ask him. I mean, my husband, he would go into the store all the time or something, and he would never come out with even a candy bar for me. And I thought it was so romantic, an Arizona fucking tea. Like, are you shitting me? An Arizona fucking tea is not romantic. Little can, 99-cent can of Arizona tea. And I was like, he bought me something. He thought of me. Like a dumbass. I was a fucking dumbass. Because I wanted that so fucking badly. And then I thought maybe I could start my life out here, and or I could be with him, or I could be with somebody. And I was like, maybe somebody like that who would buy me something from the store, walk out with a candy bar, or buy me something from a store and just buy me something or something. It's like, I thought that maybe he would have done something for me like that. And I honestly thought that possibly we could have had a family, because he's all like, I like kids. He's all like, I like kids. And he's like, I wanted kids. And I was like, maybe I could have a family with someone who's more romantic. Maybe I could have a more romantic man, or maybe I could have a man who would appreciate me or love me. Because I was begging Corey to love me for years, just to find out that it's useless begging for love. And it's useless trying to get someone to love you that doesn't love you, even though they said they loved you every day like clockwork at 9 a.m. And then every day on their way home, sat there saying they loved you and couldn't wait to get home to you. And you sit there waiting for them, and then you guys go out, hang out, pack a bowl, go to the store, go for a small drive around, listen to music. It's like, we did all that kind of stuff. And just to find out that it's like, that stuff didn't matter to him. It didn't matter to me either, though, because I wanted some type of romance. But Corey was like, you said you didn't want romance. In the very beginning of our relationship, no, I didn't, because I wasn't planning on staying with him. I wasn't planning on my mom beating me up on Halloween in 2012 or either. She beat me up on Halloween badly. She got out of the psych ward, and then I had to fucking call the cops from a payphone because she took the phones and a pill bottle and all kinds of stuff. And I ran to the payphone, and she drugged me back by my hair and then beat me up even more. And when the cops finally got there, I was put on the streets in Santa Fe, and he had to send a friend to go get me. It's like, but I wasn't planning on staying with him because all he could talk about was Christina. All he could talk about was his ex, Christina. How much he loved her, but she cheated on him, and how she dumped him, and how she dumped him, and how he kept saying, I dumped her, I dumped her, I dumped her. But I read the messages on Facebook. She dumped him. And he tried talking to her. She blocked him. And he tried talking to her through all kinds of people. He went to her cousins, and he's all like, how is she doing? Does she love me? Will she talk to me yet? He went to her cousins and all of her family members trying to talk to her like some type of freak. And when I first met him, that's all he could talk about was her. For the first couple of months, until I told him I didn't want to hear it. I put up massive walls, and I had to let them down when I moved in with him in 2012. So if everybody wants to know the truth, it's not that I'm upset about our fucking marriage ending or anything like that, or him cheating or two-timing. It's that he never respected me, not once. And I'm supposed to be the wife who has the power, because all of them, all the lawyers said, you're the wife, you have the power. You're the wife. You're more powerful than his girlfriends. You're the wife. You're more powerful. It's like, but no, I'm not. Since I surrender or something, I'm not more powerful, they'd all be fucking dead. It's like, no. They kept saying you weren't supposed to surrender the power. What power? What power? The power to be able to fucking leave? Or the power to be able to move to where I wanted to? Because I dreamt of California for a long time. But California ended up changing, and I don't know California anymore. I used to know it like the back of my hand, but when I looked at the maps recently, I don't even know what the fuck is in California because it is not the California I remember at all. Same thing with Colorado. I went to Colorado Springs and I'm like, this is not the Colorado Springs I stayed in. And I reviewed on Google an Econo Lodge in Colorado Springs. 1, 2, 3, 4 years ago? 4 or 5 years ago? When I went to Colorado Springs, it was completely fucking different than it is now. It was a small city, not a big city. It's uglier than shit now. Like, when I was there, I couldn't believe how ugly it was. It used to be beautiful. And I still have the photos from Colorado Springs from a long time ago. And it's nothing like it is today. It's like I walked into a different dimension. But in all honesty, no, I put up my walls against Corey. And then we were sleeping in a tent at Conscious Lake on Easter. And we were dyeing eggs. I dye eggs every year, or I used to. I didn't this year, but I dyed eggs. And then Corey wrote, "Will you marry me?" on one of the eggs. I ran, called my Aunt Amy, and said he proposed. And she's all like, "Do it if you want to." And I was like, "I don't know if I want to." I should have said no. I should have said no. I was scared of him. And honestly, when we went out, when we were first dating, I thought he was going to kill me. I was scared of him. And then I was scared of him even more when he couldn't stop talking about Christina. And then a couple months went by. And then after about a year of us dating, we got married. And he kept saying, "I don't want a big marriage. I don't want a big wedding." He's all like, I invited everybody I knew. Everybody I knew to the marriage, including my grandma and everybody. And then my mom and my grandma Betty were the only ones that showed up. And I would have rather been with someone else. Because I dreamt of a big wedding. But my mom got the wedding I dreamt of. As if my mom likes aquariums. I was the one who wanted to be a marine biologist. My mom hates. My mom doesn't even like fish. My mom doesn't even like animals or reptiles either. And I love animals, reptiles, and fish and stuff. It's like, not anymore. I don't have the capacity to love animals anymore. I look at the dogs and I'm like, they're fucking disgusting. I look at cats and I'm like, they're fucking disgusting. I stuck with fish tanks for a long time. I loved the aquarium, I loved the beach, and I loved the fish and everything like that. But then, come to find out that I went to the store the other day and then I saw crabs and something, and it was saying something about a beach and something about the crabs, which I'm a Cancer, so I figured the crabs were part of the Cancer. That's why I wear rubies. It's like maybe I needed to be in a red state, but it just turns out that he moved Hannah to the red states and moved her near a beach. And that all of the stuff where it was saying beach life and this, that, and the other thing, it was about Hannah apparently because she moved to Houston or some shit. But I'm not sure if Corey's even with her. Because I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I haven't been able to talk to him, contact him, or anything. He cut me off completely when I was pregnant. And then being here in a blue state, it's like her birthstone's a sapphire. So I'm over here stuck at my grandma's house, realizing that my grandma, the blues, or whoever the fuck is here, was one of the ones that was using me. Just as much as the reds or whoever the fuck it is. It's all like, I realized that my grandma and Hannah and my mom and Hannah and everybody in Hannah, my whole family stuck up for Corey over me, over their own flesh and blood and me. When I first started dating Corey, Mike used to sit there saying, if you ever hurt her, he said, I'll kill you. He said, if you ever hurt her, I'll kill you. But hey, look, Corey's still fucking walking, and Mike turned on me and stuck up for Corey. It's like my whole entire family. My grandma even changed. My grandma was like, why don't you love this? Why don't you love that? You used to love this. You used to love that. So like, yeah. Well, when I brought up certain memories, she didn't fucking remember them until like an hour or two later. She didn't remember the movies that we used to watch or the TV shows that we used to watch every Friday night. We used to watch Ghost Whisperer. That was our TV show. And then me and Betty's was the Golden Girls. We watched that every night at 10 p.m. It's like, but he didn't fucking care. Yeah, I may have gone on a couple of dates. When my grandpa died, I didn't know what to do. I freaked out. And then when Betty died, Betty used to be the one person I would turn to for everything. And even my Grandma Rose. I shouldn't have gone to my Grandma Rose's. Even my Grandma Rose, when I wasn't done, said Betty and Tony aren't here to help you now. She said you don't get any help. Betty and Tony aren't here to help you now. I miss my grandparents though. But it's not like I miss my grandparents. I don't want to be here. I saw the house I grew up in. Like, I saw Betty's house and Tony's house. It's like I haven't even gone by the house. I drove on Loma Larga to see the house, and I didn't even get to view the house fully. The house isn't even painted. It's like, I did not love Arizona either. But Arizona was better than being here. Because when I was here in 2022, in February, Mike was throwing stuff and being really fucking abusive. Like he always is sometimes. Sometimes he's nice. Sometimes he's nice. It's like, no. He was being really fucking abusive. And he kept yelling at me saying, it's my food, my house. Don't touch my food. Don't touch my house. He was being so abusive that I went and lived on the streets and wound up in Arizona because the minimum wage was higher. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone to Arizona. I didn't even have the money to get to Colorado. I didn't have the money to get to Texas. I didn't have the money to get back to North Carolina. I didn't have the money for that. I had like half a tank of gas, and that got me to, I drove as far as I could. Somebody, I think Rick from Texas or something, he gave me $30 and I put it in my tank and I drove as far as I could. I was trying to get to California, but I only made it to Flagstaff. $30 in my tank only made it to fucking Flagstaff. So I parked it in Flagstaff and found a shelter. And then I didn't get to stay at the shelter but 30 days. And then I was sleeping in my car for months. And then I slept in my car for months. It's like, but I didn't want to, because in Arizona they kept sitting there saying that my ring was a mockery and how my husband was in bed with another girl, and I didn't understand because at the time he wasn't. And it's like apparently Arizona dash God were that far ahead of me. Because apparently Corey loved Hannah so fucking much. He loved being with the other girls so much. It's like, I get that. And I get that I was never loved. Because I wouldn't have had to beg. I wouldn't have had to plead. I wouldn't have had to cry. I wouldn't have had to beg. And I wouldn't have had to beg to get away from my mom, too. I used to sit there before I met Corey. I was like, I wanted to help my mom with like bills and stuff like that. I wanted to help my mom, and then when she beat me up, it just went downhill from there. I didn't want to help her anymore. And then I didn't want to help her ever again. And I didn't want to go to her house ever again. And they kept inviting me over to her house, and she kept kicking me out. And when she would keep kicking me out, then I would come live here at my grandma's house. It's like, but the things that the things my grandma has told me are unforgivable. The things that my mom have told me, like when I was out there and done, the things they told me are unforgivable. And I don't understand or comprehend why I'm here right now, because I never would have chose this a day in my life.